Welcome back to the final segment of Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we've been talking a lot about different strategies in the markets today for income. Income during your working years, income during retirement, but also strategies for protecting and growing your wealth bucket, your 401ks and IRAs, and having those strategies with simple rules within them. That way you have more confidence in these markets and being able to make these decisions on your own. That's why, at Online Trade Academy, we have people to train you how to do that, but also guidance and mentoring so that way you're never alone in the financial markets. Text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for an investing class at our local academies right here. Al teaches these, I teach these as well, and hopefully making smarter investing decisions from that day moving forward. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now. So, Al, I mentioned that last segment. Actually, you brought it up a couple times, is there's a lot of people in wait-and-see mode. I'm going to wait and see what this market does and then start making decisions.
Sure, that's the easy way to do it.
It is. Yeah, it's easy. It's the head-in-the-sand approach. And how has that worked for individuals throughout their whole life? I mean, we have a retirement crisis. People don't have enough to retire. Their 401ks are underfunded. Their IRAs are underfunded. And they're living off a quote-unquote fixed income. So I want to talk about a conversation I just had actually yesterday with a good friend, and we were talking about the real estate market. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about, she wants to be able to flip this home, and we've been talking about earlier, and you said earlier, is now the right time to get into the housing market? Which, it could be, it might not be. But the difference was is she didn't feel like she had the skills to do what the institutions were doing. So what she said is, I don't want to be buying something and then have, interest rates high right now. So I'm going to wait and see to see what happens, and then I'm going to look at getting into it. So we talked through that, and I said, well, okay, well, you wait and see until the interest rates go down. That's what you want to do, right? She says yes. And how do you know that they're done going down and they start going up? When is the right time to actually do that? And she said, well, I'll just wait and see, and then I'll do it then. And that wasn't a strategy. And she kind of brought it back. She goes, you know what? I'm just guessing. Mm-hmm. And that's why she would struggle in the real estate market, because she was guessing on when to do things. What the great thing about the financial markets is we have strategies for up and down markets. So we don't have to guess on when to get in. We don't have to wait and see. We can act now because there's always opportunities. So if you're looking to get in the markets, don't just wait and see what happens. You're late to the party, right? So, Al, you help people with their retirement accounts and strategies and how to be proactive and not reactive. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that you do to help people kind of bridge that gap of feeling comfortable and confident to make these decisions before it actually happens, so then you're in as it moves?
Yeah, here's what we want all of our students to be able to do. We want them to be able to say, it was a great day in the markets, regardless of which direction it went. Mm-hmm. That's how you do this with confidence. And again, it gets down to education. It gets down to knowledge, but it's not just knowledge. It's the skills to use that knowledge. Knowledge is really worthless unless you know how to use it, when to use it, and when not to use it, when not to use things. And those are the things that we try to impart upon our students is how to build the skills to use the knowledge that we provide. And when you talk about retirement, for example, here's something to consider. What's your largest assets? The largest, biggest assets that you have are probably your house and your retirement account. What do you know about your house? All sorts of things. You know what your house is worth, probably. You know what the property taxes are. You know what the heating bill is, the cooling bill. You know what it costs to, do certain repairs around the house. But what do you know about your retirement accounts? And if you don't know them, hey, you can always call that guy that manages it. Hey, do this. On the count of 3, yell out the name of the person that manages your 401k. 1, 2, 3. Crickets. And yet that's the person that you may be relying on for the quality of your retirement.
Trusting. That's what they say is they trust you. Yeah. That's been pumped into people by commercials.
Sure.
Trust your advisor.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I remember even there's one company out there that because the names of these people have changed. They used to be brokers. We were stockbrokers, then advisors, then trusted global advisors, all these names that make people feel warm and fuzzy. But the reality is that the person that you meet probably has turned your assets over to somebody else who you never meet and who never meets you. Typically in a 401k, 403b, and those retirement accounts, there's some things that are great about them. I mean, we talk about the 401ks a lot. We don't mean to disparage them. Well, in a way we do, but but it's a great vehicle to make people put money aside for retirement.
It's been a saver.
It's been a saver, and if you have a match, if your company matches part of it, that's fantastic. That's free money. But other than that, there's some real disadvantages to that as the source of your retirement or your later years financial security. The fees that you pay for little to no advice, that's 2 to 3% a year probably that's being taken out. You don't even see all of those fees. And then you're put into something that will only benefit you if the market goes up. When the market's going down, your 401k, your 403 is going down with it. Do you even know what the assets are that you have available in your 401k or 403b? Probably not. But one of the things that we talk about in the classes is what we call dynamic 401k management, how to get better returns, a better performance from your employer-sponsored retirement plans, and then how to maybe set up a self-directed IRA when the match from your company has been met and that's no longer there. Then the additional money you might want to look at putting into a self-directed IRA where you don't have any fees. You have many more choices. You don't just have to have the market go up to benefit. You can use assets and strategies that will benefit you in an up market, a down market, a sideways market, provide protection for you, like having an insurance policy on your portfolio, and then using leveraged assets. Futures, forex, and options that we teach in these classes, they have leverage, which means that every dollar you invest controls a multiple of that in the overall investment. Maybe a $2,000 account could potentially control a $100,000 investment. That's maximizing the value of your investment money.
Yeah, I want to go a little further on the house example. People know what's all those things that you were talking about. But what do people do to protect what's inside? They get security cameras. Mm-hmm. They lock the doors. Some people have bars on their doors. There's different precautions people make to keep their home safe, which is one of those big buckets of capital they have, or investment. But people don't put security on their portfolio. They don't put protection on that. There are strategies to protect those. We're seeing big down markets this year. If these continue to go down, why not protect that from your account from going down? There's strategies designed to do that. And there are other alternatives with these 401ks. There's things you can do differently, and you bring those up and you introduce these concepts in these free classes that you have. You teach these classes every single week. We have them during the week. We have them on the weekend. And helping our listeners make smarter investing decisions, text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats to learn more about these retirement accounts and different alternatives to 401k. Al, in about 45 seconds, talk a little bit about what people can learn in this investing class.
Well, starting out with how the markets function, why price moves, what moves price, and then how to take advantage of that. We're going to show you or talk to you about portfolio protection strategies, the important thing, when to buy, when to sell. What's the most important thing about a trade? It's not just the entry, but it's the exits. There's 2 exits to every trade. One is if you're wrong, one is if you're right. How do you determine those 2 exit points? We talk about that in these classes. We talk about the common mistakes that investors make and how to mitigate those mistakes. And basically just show you how to mimic or track what Wall Street is doing. Those are the people that are moving price. And the most important thing as an investor or a trader is to be able to, you're a hunter, Josh, right?
I am.
When you hunt, you're going hunting for something. We teach you how to be a hunter of unfilled orders where the institutions in the future are going to be taking their position, acting, and you can be positioned. We show you how to do that on a price chart. You can be positioned right along with them to benefit when they actually make their move.
Yep, it's about being in the right place at the right time and how to do that with consistency, but also with confidence. And I just want to bring back up, how do people make decisions, whether it's in their everyday life or their financial accounts. And some people, when they're afraid or they don't know what to do, they do nothing. They're scared to act. Get comfortable, but you have to learn how to act in these markets. Learn these techniques and concepts. We have these investing classes to teach you what these concepts are, so that way you can act, and you're not just like a what's the animal that puts their head in the sand? What is that called again?
An ostrich.
An ostrich. You don't want to have the head in the sand approach. Have the plan for that and make smart investing decisions with confidence. Text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for an investing class to build that confidence. We've had a lot of people, listening to the show here, texting in, and we had a lot of football and fun this past week. Let's hit them up with today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, Josh, often things happen that are not our choice. But if you let those things happen and don't do anything about them, you have made a choice. You made a choice to live with the consequences of what's happened. Successful people identify the problems that they have, but they give their power and energy to solutions so they can make the proper choices. So if your problems are financial, our goal at OTA is to help you find and use solutions appropriate for you to address and fix those problems.
It all starts with a little bit of action, and it starts with a plan. That plan is coming to Online Trading Academy to free classes to be introduced to these different techniques and concepts. One last giveaway, text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this free class. As always, we hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.